SCPs, which one do you guys think is the strongest?
It's gotta be Bigfoot.
I think it's Shy Guy.
Those are pretty good guesses, but in today's video, we are going to be learning about the strongest SCP to ever exist.
Oh boy, should I be scared?
If
Yes.
he breathes, the bear
God.
will see him.
Don't breathe.
Lying flat on his stomach, the boy has no choice but to watch as the hulking brute eats his father before his very eyes. Lying in the thicket just a few trees away, the boy knows that any small movement he makes could prove fatal.
Oh no.
A bear this large, hunting for its hibernation, will have no issue chasing him down in a split second.
Are you trying to tell me the SCP right now is a bear?
No, Adam. It is
it's
way
stronger?
scarier than that bear.
I am about to poop myself right now from just this bear.
Guys, I breathe. Does that mean I die?
No, it's gonna be okay, but hold your breath in 3, 2, 1.
Look at the bear's eyes.
And doing exactly what he did to his father.
That's his dad.
The boy is utterly powerless. All he can do is stay deathly still and watch. They'd found the tracks too late.
Okay.
On the way
guys
back
are
to
good.
camp, they'd been following the wooded cliff that lines the ocean's edge. Bows and salmon slung over their shoulders, they'd been so proud of their catch and the prospect of bringing it back to the tribe that they hadn't kept their wits about them.
Guys,
Oh, they was gonna set a high alert.
nobody built an emotional connection to the dad. We all know he's about to die, all right? I don't
We
want
do.
I don't want to see anyone
Yeah.
crying.
And it also seems like this is taking place way further in the past. You know, they look like cavemen. So there's that.
So this SCP's been around for a hot minute.
Seems like it.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
By the time they'd
Good
seen the
observation.
enormous prints in the dirt, the sound of lumbering footsteps were already echoing through the trees behind them. The boy's bow is too far out of reach. He dropped it when his father pushed him into the thicket. He's got the knife hanging at his side, but he doubts it's long enough to even get through the bear's fatty hide. In contrast, the only thing protecting him from its bite is the leather hide slung across his shoulders and a woven garment from the tribe's elders. One slash of the bear's claw, and he'd be. A
Oh my
breeze
gosh,
ruffles
that's
his hair.
terrifying.
The boy's eyes widen in horror. That wind hadn't come from in front of him, but from behind.
Hey, yo. Oh my gosh.
the heck?
Imagine
Wait.
if you looked behind you and you just saw this thing.
Wow.
Yeah, bears are actually really mean. So if you guys ever see a bear in public, do not approach it.
What are you
And
supposed
don't
to do
run
then?
either, because they can run like 40 miles an hour.
So
True.
what do you do?
And they can climb trees.
You just give it
Just
whatever
don't
it
want-
wants.
Get dirt blocks and like build a shelter.
No, what you do is you don't move and you say, wait, what do you say?
Oh gosh, we're all dead. We're all dead.
I don't know.
This is not. Is that what you're gonna tell the bear? Wait, give me a second. I forget.
Wait, yeah, hold on, bear, give me a second. Shoo, bear, shoo! Shoo, bear, shoo! That's what you're supposed to do.
Alex
Definitely is
getting
gonna
eaten
get
first.
eaten by the bear.
That's what
yeah.
you're supposed to do, guys.
The only way that you don't get eaten by the bear is if you trip your other friend like Alec and then you just run and
Yeah.
let him get
We'll
eaten.
let Alex
don't trip
scream
me.
at the bear. Jack and I will run.
Yeah, shoo! Ah!
Idiot.
Following his scent, his fear, directly towards the bear's nostrils.
Dude,
The
that
boy
breath's probably
plants his muddy
stanky.
palms into the dirt, staring at the animal. Its nostril twitches
throw dirt in its eye.
and twitches again. It half turns its head, sniffing the air. Maybe it won't bother with him. The bear's turning back to its meal already. The boy lets out a sigh of relief, and a twig snaps.
Oh
Bear
no.
snarls and
Oh,
moves its
no.
head around. For a second, the two of them
Jeez.
lock eyes, predator and prey. Then the boy takes off running. Fast as he can.
Alex
Run,
says that's a
boss!
no-no.
He's
Ferns
not
and
fast
nettles
enough.
whipping at his shins. He fumbles the knife out of its sheath and slings the water
Oh,
skin
he has
off
a
his
knife.
shoulder,
Okay, he can deal with
throwing
the
it
bear.
wildly behind him.
What is
He
that
doesn't
gonna
know
do?
if he hit the bear. He doesn't have time to turn around and see. It's going to be on him in an instant. Up ahead, he sees
Wearing
sunlight.
pants?
Wait, why would he try to hit the bear with the water bottle? At best, he just gave the bear hydration.
I think he was maybe thinking maybe he was playing like Mario Kart and he thought like maybe the bear would slip on it or something, or like maybe, I don't know, yeah, like take some of the attention away from him and he would investigate the water bottle instead of chasing the boy. That's what I would do if I was a bear.
It's streaming through the thick trees, the cliff edge. If he can just get to
Oh,
that,
no.
maybe he can climb down and... No, there's no time. Besides,
Maybe he can use the knife
bears
as a
are better
parachute.
climbers, better swimmers, better runners.
What?
All the boy can hope for is that he's a better jumper. Him and the boys from the tribe have left off plenty of cliffs along the shore.
Thought that was
Never
way
these
deeper.
ones. There are too many rocks, too many shallows.
What?
But the thundering of four enormous paws behind him
He's gotta
is looming
jump.
larger
You gotta
and
jump.
larger. He can almost feel the bear's hot breath on the back of his neck. There's nothing for it. Here goes. The trees clear, the sun blasts his skin, a claw slashes at his back. and the boy launches himself into the air.
Okay, do you think, guys, that this is gonna turn into the SCP? This guy, this little boy.
No.
Pre-predictions.
No, I don't think that the guy is an SCP. It's a reptile.
Yeah,
Adam.
but
This
we've
is
seen in
clearly a
previous
human.
videos that sometimes humans turn into SCPs.
I think that this guy's gonna dive into the water, and then the bear isn't going to jump after him, and then the hard-to-destroy reptile is gonna come out of the water like God freaking Zilla, and then go fight off the bear.
Oh. No, I think
I
this
like that.
little boy's gonna grow something out of somewhere, and he's gonna be the strongest thing to ever exist.
Or
and then
maybe
he's
when
gonna
he
come
jumps
back and avenge his
down,
dad.
Maybe he jumps down, and maybe he teams up with it. I don't think he's gonna turn into it. How could he?
He's going to, and then he's gonna destroy the bear like his brother bear.
I guess we'll see.
The wind carries him. The weightlessness
Use
of
the knife as a
wheeling his
parachute.
arms and legs through the empty sky.
How is a
is
knife a
almost enough to
parachute?
make him laugh with joy.
You don't understand
Until
physics.
the boy looks down. The cliff is
looks like the
higher,
Wolverine.
much, much higher than he'd realized. His momentum carries his torso forwards.
Don't
into a
belly
tumble.
flop.
He's not going.
You're supposed to
land
pencil
straight.
dive. Pencil
He can see
dive.
jagged rocks
Oh,
everywhere beneath
I don't
him.
think a pencil dive's gonna
Boy
work there,
closes his
Alec.
eyes.
No!
Crashes into the sea.
Okay, he's
Oh, he's good. He's
The air
good.
is slammed out of
He's
his lungs.
good.
His knee hits
I don't know if
something
he's
hard
good.
and sharp in the water.
Ow.
The swell
Ooh, that's
throws him
the
away
worst.
from the shore and
Hopefully he
pulls
didn't tear
him
an
deep.
He
ACL.
can still swim.
Without
He can
air
still
in
swim.
his chest, he can't float. Kicking hard as
Swim
he
up
can,
there, Domi!
The boy swims upwards,
He's injured.
eyes still screwed shut. His face bashes into a sandy rock. No, it's
Oh
not.
no.
Which way is it? Which way should he swim? The ocean current rolls him over and over. Darkness
This
fills
dude's
his
dead.
mind.
Imagine
But his
if the
feet
bear
find
jumps.
a hard surface.
That'd be so
He pushes
funny.
against it, launching himself through the water, kicking as hard as he can. The darkness fades. Light. The boy's head breaches the water, and he's
Professional tip, if you're ever in that situation where you can't see up and down of which way to swim, you're supposed to blow out a little bit of bubbles and feel which way the bubbles are going, because bubbles always go upward. Just saying.
Thanks,
you do a little,
Al.
Noted.
Okay, so I shoo away the bear, and then I start blowing bubbles at it, and then I'll
I'm
live.
just saying, it might save your life or somebody's life someday, so I'm just putting it out
Were
there.
you a Boy Scout at some point? You know how to.
All you gotta,
know how to
I'm
stay
just
away
trying to
from
save
bears?
one life at a time. Saving one life at a time.
No, Alec watches Joe Rogan, so he actually learns a lot from that.
Exactly.
and he splutters for air, rubbing the water out of his eyes. He looks around.
Oh, he's good, he's
wildly.
good.
No,
the
he
sea
turned
has
into an
carried him
SCP.
away from the cliff and out into open water.
Oh, the
lifting
Reptile
and
took him
dropping
way
him
out.
feet
Oh
away,
my gosh,
carrying
this guy is just
Blow
getting
bubbles!
wrecked.
Blow bubbles!
He's gonna
Blow
get stuck
bubbles!
here for probably like 40
Blow
years
bubbles, you
and then
fool!
turn into
He's
an
just getting
SCP
wrecked
with
over and
legs.
over.
Wait,
No
whoa,
way!
whoa,
It's
Yo,
falling
that bear
down.
is God, it's dirty.
What
The
kind of
boy's
bear is
stomach
this?
turns. It reaches
my
the bottom
gosh.
of the cliff and sees him there in the water.
Let him live, bear. God
Why is the
dang.
bear like Liam
It roars
Neeson?
at an almighty volume,
Let him
deafening
go.
the boy over the sound of the waters. Even
Bears
from
can
this
swim
distance,
really, really
the
well.
animal looks impossibly large. It dwarfs
Something
the
wrong with
boulders
that
that
bear.
line the water's edge. It slips into the water, barely making a
No.
ripple.
That's so
No
messed
way
up.
it goes after
Going
him.
straight for him.
This is the unluckiest guy ever.
So fast, he only has seconds left.
Blow bubbles! Blow
I didn't
bubbles!
realize this could get worse.
Afloat. The boy knows he'll never be able to outswim this creature. Instead,
You gotta go under.
he takes a deep breath and looks up at the woods, remembering all of the happy moments he'd spent in there with his father.
Aww.
The current swells beneath the
dad
boy
died.
and almost throws him out of the water. An enormous shadow flies through the depth beneath him.
I knew it!
It couldn't be. Whatever it is, the shadow is
Is it the
swimming
Loch Ness
straight
Monster?
at the advancing bear.
Oh, Adam.
So
Oh my God.
fixated on its prey,
This
the bear doesn't even
is
notice what's approaching. until it's too late.
SCP-682!
The ocean
can't be.
explodes. A blast of water as tall as the cliffs themselves shoots up into the air
Jack,
and
you're
showers
crazy.
the boy's
Whoa!
head. Somewhere in the midst of the spray, a monster erupts.
How big do you think that thing's about to be?
It's gonna be massive.
It's actually not that big. You know, you would think it's like Godzilla level size, but no, it's not. It's like a little compact Godzilla.
I think it's
Wait,
gonna
it
be
looks like
30
it has
feet.
hair. It looks like it has. Maybe this used to be a person. I think you might have been right, Adam.
Seems like we were both right. This could be his dad.
Blow bubbles at him.
No, that was dumb. Maybe it's his grandpa.
From the depths, snapping its jaw around the bear, it lifts the animal into the
Yeah,
air
that's what
and
you
throws
get.
it against the cliff.
Oh
The
wow.
impact is
Holy
so strong.
smokes, it's so strong.
Small
Isn't a
landslide
bear 2
follows the
tons?
bear's rolling body as it tumbles back towards the water. But the boy has eyes only for the monster
Bears are not
emerging
2
from the
tons.
sea,
Did you just say that?
crawling up the rocks with one gnarled
Ew.
foot after another. The boy can
Sounds
hardly
like a
make sense
Pokemon.
of what he's looking at.
That thing is so
It
creepy.
seems to have some kind of scaly hide, harder than the rock surrounding it. A wave crashes
be
against the
even
monster
scarier
as it
now.
leers over the bear and sinks its teeth into the animal's hide. Unable to look away, the boy kicks out and starts swimming
Swim.
away.
Now's
up
your
the
chance,
coast.
little boy.
Swim!
Once he's a long way around the bay, does he
Is this the
dare to
origin
clamber
stories of
out
Tarzan?
and back onto land. That night, once the rest of the tribe have gone to sleep, the boy can't help but lie wide awake in his tent. Without his father here, it's not the
Where's
same.
mommy?
Quietly rolling up the
Aw.
hide doorway, the boy slips out into the night. They're camped by a small cave with beautiful smooth walls inside. They say it's the cave of their ancestors, the place where all life started. The fire in the cave has to always burn. Fortunately for him, the cave is empty. The boy stares up at the wall in wonder. Finger drawings of animals, hunters, mothers, shamans, gods, and forests fill almost every part of it. Only one space remains in the corner, a finger painting of the rocky cliffs with the swelling sea beneath. Dipping his finger into the paint, the boy sits by the wall and starts to paint. A terrible monster crawling out of the sea, with a scaly hide stronger than
Looks
any
like a
rock.
crocodile.
So I guess that's probably the first sighting of SCP-682, also known as the hard-to-destroy reptile. That was probably the first time anybody in human existence ever saw that thing lurking about in the entire world. And I know you guys are thinking like, oh my gosh, that thing was strong. But let me tell you, that's not even his best ability, bro. As soon as you watch the rest of the video, you're gonna have nightmares about this thing.
He unlocks new abilities?
Yes.
Is he gonna come after the little boy?
No, he doesn't like little boys.
That's it. You know that from just some finger painting.
Okay, now we're in modern
The
day.
archaeologist turns to the group of researchers surrounding him in the cave. UV lights are set up all along the walls, with the blue and violet shapes revealed all across the stonework. The archaeologist can't help but empathize
this is the
with
boy all grown up
spiritualism
now,
of
I
their
see.
long-forgotten ancestors who'd lived in these caves thousands of years ago.
No, Adam.
Adam, you are actually so dumb. This, you know, like this is like real life. Like people study like hieroglyphs and stuff and try to figure out like what the people went through way back in the day.
Why would they be waving and rowing? I don't understand.
Why would they be hooing and whatting?
You said high and row.
Ancient caveman technology, Adam. They used to draw inside of caves.
Yeah, they used to make like drawings of what they saw, of like tigers and mammoths and that sort of stuff.
There were, Adam, do you know how to
Aliens?
paint? The Egyptians actually drew up the aliens, yes.
Oh, okay. All right, I'm back in. I think I get what you guys are saying.
The
Drawing.
professor was the one who asked the question. A cold woman, standing well over 6 feet tall with a crop of fiery ginger hair. To him, she seemed less of a scientist,
Come
more of a
on,
military
don't
leader.
laugh at that. What is
What does he
funny?
know?
What is funny?
It's
What is
Alec,
funny,
though.
Why
Adam?
is it fiery ginger?
What is so funny?
Why'd they have to go
She has
into
a fiery
detail about her
personality.
hair?
Nothing funny about
Probably.
that. Nothing funny about that. Let's move on.
Okay.
Walk with me,
She's very
she
kind-hearted.
says, and leads him out of the cave. Personnel fills the surrounding area. Most of them
Jeez,
are
look at
armed.
those P90s.
Cranes lift huge sheets of reinforced lead plating into place. Several mysterious vats line the edge of the forest, each adorned with more warning and hazard signs than you'd see in a nuclear power station. The two of them have to pause for a moment as 3 tanks roll past them.
What's
Oh
the
my
government
gosh, they have
doing?
so much
Silence.
artillery.
They're turning that
You
whole
know the
area
reason I
into
started
Area
all my
51.
research in the first place? Did I ever tell you that story? Every early civilization in the world, whether it's ancient China, Mesopotamia, South America, Northern Europe, all these cultures, you take a look at their mythology and what do you find? The professor ignores him, instead choosing to bark orders at a group of agents talking over coffee. They all immediately dump their drinks and get back to work. What one thing do they all talk about, even though it never existed?
Is it this
Aliens.
SCP? The SCP could kind of be an alien. Some of the SCPs do remind me of like different aliens that, you know, maybe they came from Earth, but maybe not.
Yes, Jack. Who runs the world?
Girls?
SCPs.
Oh, SCP.
Dragons.
We all just had different
All
answers.
these disparate people with no contact with one another, all of them still draw pictures of dragons. The professor stops
dragons.
walking at the
Okay.
edge of the cliff. The pair of them stand there, surveying
Dragons
the
were never
vast
real.
ocean
Hey, that's where he
stretching out in
jumped.
front
That's
of
where the
them.
kid jumped. That's the
I
same
have a
spot.
feeling
And
that
workers
fiery
rush around
hair
behind
girl's
them.
about to push him.
After a long pause, the professor asks him to proceed. In ancient Hebrew texts, when they talk about God creating the world in 7 days, what happens on day 5? The professor flicks the hair out of her eyes and replies curtly, God created fish in the sea and birds in the sky. Well, not exactly. Look at the original Hebrew. He created all of the fish that teem in the sea, sure, but he also created Leviathan, a serpent-like monster from the depths, as old as the world
Really?
itself.
That's in the book?
You think that's what we're dealing with? Maybe.
Oh,
Or something worse.
oh my gosh.
By nightfall,
It's way
preparations
worse,
are
Lloyd.
operational.
Leviathan is
way-
Enormous floodlights switch
How's
on,
that
one
worse than
after
the
another,
Leviathan?
illuminating an
Isn't that
enormous
huge?
steel box with an open lid at
Way
the top,
worse.
surrounded by
not
armed
even that
agents,
tall.
huge net launchers, and several tanks. It all seems a
It's
bit
not worse.
excessive as far as the archaeologist is concerned. He isn't officially still supposed to be here, but in all of the scramble for the Foundation to get the capture site ready, no one noticed that he had stuck around.
This guy's shady.
From the viewing
I don't like
platform
him.
several hundred meters away, he has to watch it all unfold through a pair of binoculars. Out above the water, suspended from one of the cranes, is an elephant carcass. The professor told him that the Foundation had even marinated it for extra flavor. He had only been recruited
my
into this
gosh,
project a
that's
couple of
brutal.
months ago.
A whole
But from what
elephant?
he could tell, it's been an ongoing priority for the Foundation for
Wait, Jack, I
several-
thought you said this thing's not that big. How's it gonna eat that whole elephant?
Adam, I don't want to spoil the rest of the movie for you.
Oh, wait, he was just a baby. That was
Can't
just a
say
baby
anything. I
SCP-682.
don't want to tell Adam,
Wait, we didn't see the
you.
adult. Oh my gosh, it's about to get insane. Okay,
Several
I'm
years
locked.
now. The scale of the operation of just setting up at this site is already mind-boggling, but they've been chasing up leads like this for years now. Arriving at scenes, they suspect this creature has been sighted in the past and setting up traps for it. He was only brought in out of desperation. The Foundation had exhausted all recent hunting grounds and was trying to cast the net even wider. He'd just been quietly working on his university research
what they're
paper
gonna
about
use this
ancient
weapon
reptile
for.
drawings when the agents had let
creature.
themselves into his office. But staring through his binoculars now, the archaeologist knows there's no chance of this operation actually working. They have floodlights, for crying out loud. No intelligent predator would come anywhere near that elephant carcass. Movement. Not in the waters or any of the lit-up areas. No, there's something in the forest line, just behind a group of researchers.
Ooh, there it is.
Oh,
He
Get
gets
out of there.
instinctively
Get the
for his
flip out of there.
walkie-talkie, then stops
SCGs.
himself. How many times had he got jittery before and reported something preemptively? The agents already don't take him seriously as it is. He can't be jumping at shadows. But there it is again, a shape moving
is how
fast
every
through
horror
the
movie
trees.
starts.
He scans the binoculars this way and that, trying to find it. Just a group of researchers there, some agents there, supply crates, researchers, agents. Wait, weren't there more of them a second ago?
He's not gonna tell anybody?
He looks closer. Someone's gone missing. He clicks on the radio. South Lookout Team, report in. Nothing. South Lookout Team?
Oh gosh.
A sickening feeling
gosh.
settles
It's gonna
in
Jack,
from
stop
behind you.
smiling.
all those bright
This is the
lights
human
everywhere,
race, Jack.
casting a
What
lot
team are
of
you
dark
on?
shadows.
I'm
He has to do
grimacing.
something fast. Running down from the lookout point, the archaeologist takes off running through the trees to the site. He holds his radio up to his mouth as he goes, trying to get anyone to respond.
At least grab a gun, guy.
The thicket cracks and crunches under his
He's
feet
an
as he tries to make
archaeologist.
his
He
way
doesn't know
through
how
the
to
dark
use
woods,
one.
ignoring the
He pulled
feeling
the
that
trigger.
crawls up his neck of being watched. A boulder blocks his way. The
That's not the
archaeologist
boulder.
grabs
That's not
onto
a
it
boulder,
with
is
both
it?
hands and hauls himself on top of it, stopping for a moment to catch his breath.
Just run around it,
From
dummy.
here, he can see the floodlit capture site. The tanks and cranes still sit rumbling,
The elephant's
ready
gone.
to go at a moment's notice. But he can't see any ground crew anymore. He switches
Where's
the
the
radio
elephant?
to the open channel and calls out for anyone to respond. The professor's voice crackles back at him.
What are you still doing here? This is a highly dangerous operation that you don't have clearance for.
He yells at her to cancel it. They need to evacuate the site immediately. It's compromised. She laughs derisively and cuts off the channel.
Oh, you
She
dummy.
has to believe him. People are dying. And more of them will if she doesn't. The archaeologist whispers to himself in the darkness. It's no monster. It's just an innocent creature.
I need to see this thing
Playing with
now.
a power you don't understand. It's strange. For a moment, he swears he almost hears a voice whispering something back to him in the woods. I love you. When he looks around, he's all on his own.
Subscribe.
He has to keep moving. The creature could be anywhere. Hopping off the jagged boulder, the archaeologist takes off running through the forest once
He's
more,
not going very
looking over his
fast.
shoulder every few steps. The light must
This
be
would be
playing
so
tricks on him.
scary, bro.
In
I'm scared of the dark. I don't know
can't
about
see
you
the boulder
guys.
He was standing on a
I know,
moment
you sleep
ago
with a
anywhere.
nightlight.
Yeah.
He bursts out
Alex
of the tree
sleeps with a
line and
nightlight.
into the clearing right next
Okay.
to the steel box. A ramp leads up to the top of it with
Do
a
not
large
go in that
trap
box.
door
That's where he's
suspended
waiting.
over the open lid. Well, if he wants to be seen and heard, that's where he needs to go. The archaeologist runs up the ramp and waves
Oh my
his
God.
hands wildly
Oh, you
in the
big
air.
fat
He's about to
dummy.
risk
Tanks
his
all
life.
turn their turrets to
I wonder
aim
if
at
that's
him.
what they were
The crane holding
anticipating.
the
Like they
enormous
wanted
steel
him to
lid
do
of the
this.
enclosure
Yo!
looms menacingly above his head. And there, marching
He's
out
the
onto
bait!
the field, looking absolutely furious, is the professor. Her red hair looks more like a ball of flames right now. We need to evacuate the site now. It's here. She snarls and marches up
Wait,
the
they're
ramp to
both
meet him,
bait!
jabbing a finger in the archaeologist's face. He suddenly realizes how much taller she is. You are not jeopardizing
Oh,
our
gosh.
one
Oh,
chance
gosh.
of catching this thing. Get out of the way, or I will have
He's
you
definitely
detained.
dead.
Besides,
Never mess
what
with the
evidence
flames.
do you have?
That's what I say.
But the archaeologist isn't looking at her. Instead,
Oh.
his eyes stare in
This could
horror
be very
at
bad.
the elephant carcass suspended behind her. There
like
was
a
a
whole
huge
bite.
reptilian bite mark taken out of it.
How?
A testing bite.
How has no one
like the ones
noticed?
given
Dude,
by
nobody
sharks.
noticed?
How did
She
no one
turns to
notice?
follow his gaze.
Maybe
and
there's
all
nobody
of her
left.
rage is washed away in a sickening
Oh
delight.
gosh, she's twisted.
Yeah. A scream from the crane holding the elephant makes them both jump. But by the time they look up at the cabin, all they see is a hulking shadow leaping away
Bruh.
into the darkness.
This was a
How is
bad
that
idea
fast?
from the
The professor
start.
clicks on her
Get
walkie-talkie
out of
and
there
starts
now!
issuing commands. No one responds, except the tank crews. She tries again.
Okay, they have a
Radio
team of
silence.
tanks. I like that.
Now the gravity of the
I
situation
think they're
really
fine.
starts to hit her. Eyes wide with panic, she runs off down the ramp, barking into her radio and leaving the archaeologist
She was just
up here on
smiling
his
5
own.
seconds ago.
Suddenly, under all of these lights, he feels very exposed. It could be anywhere in the shadows. Footsteps, heavy planted footsteps tremor
Is that how
to
you
the
feel when you
ground.
try to go to bed,
Out
Alec?
of the woods walks the
Oh,
creature. several
This
meters
is the
long,
monster
back
hiding
from
it
all of its
under your
hunting.
covers.
The beast that would soon be known as SCP-682
Looks like an
slinks
emo.
into view.
Yo!
It looks up at him, standing there on the trap door.
thought it was a
of
water
metal
creature.
box.
What's going on?
It looks like it's almost ready to laugh at how easy this will be. Boom! The tank blast hits the creature square.
Come on,
Doesn't
surely a
matter.
tank
Dodge
can take it on.
sideways.
Dodge.
Doesn't
Boom.
matter.
Yeah, see, look, the
Wait,
tank
what?
just destroyed it.
Imagine the video's over, just like one tank shot destroys that
No,
thing.
dude, it would take literally a million tank shots to
No
even do
way.
like 1%
A million?
damage.
What?
What are you, some sort of expert? What?
This is basically like Wolverine from X-Men times 25. Like, this thing can regen quickly. It can change its body to any
no,
environment.
no,
If you shot it with a nuke,
No.
it would turn into nuclear waste so that it survived.
I don't
No,
think. I don't
tanks
think
are made out of like titanium and steel. There's no way that it can hurt a tank.
It's
These
not going to touch
tanks
a tank.
are nothing. That is literally like me throwing a little pebble at your face. It's not going to do anything.
Yeah, that hurts. That hurts.
That hurts a lot.
Please don't do that.
I would cry and then I would tattle on
Three
you.
tanks
with my-
open fire one after the other, laying round after round into the colossal reptile, kicking more and more dust into the air.
That's GG's. Bye bye,
Before long,
Crocky.
There's a crater in the
See, look,
ground
it's gone.
so large,
It's literally
it looks
exploded.
Yeah, it
almost
got
like
deleted.
an asteroid hit it. Smoke
Jack,
and
you are
dust
so
filled the
dumb.
air.
This, you said this SCP was the
not
strongest
okay.
ever?
So dumb.
Eyes
You
filled
are
with
so dumb.
tears. That
Guys, comment
majestic
down below
creature, roaming
what you
the
think
earth
about
long
this
before
SCP.
mankind ever did.
Prove them wrong.
Exterminated, just like that.
GG's.
Cowards. That's what people really are. Cowards. But as the dust clears, a groaning sound echoes around the clearing. The archaeologist shields his
No.
eyes and peers into the crater as
No
best
way.
he can.
That's probably the dad or
There's
something.
nothing there. Boom! He wheels around and almost falls backwards in shock. The SCP is snuck through
Oh,
the
crap. Oh,
no
no
way.
way.
stares at the armored bodywork, doing
How
all it
strong
can
are
to
its jaws?
destroy
It's
it.
ripping through the tank.
In a panic,
Yeah,
two of the
dude,
tanks
it
point
could do
toward one
anything.
another and fire.
They just shot each
destroying
other.
themselves
Okay,
in the
who
process.
who hired
The
this
creature rounds
military
on the
crew?
remaining
Yeah, those
tank,
guys are
probably
pretty dumb.
panicking.
hard on the barrel. The tank fires.
It
The round
ate
going
it.
straight
Shot
down
into
the
its
monster's
belly.
throat
Ate it.
and exploding inside its gut. The backdraft from the blast shoots back through the tank, and a puff of smoke trails out of the hatch at the top.
It
Suddenly,
ate it?
once again,
Yep.
the clearing.
It
is
ate it and then
quiet.
burped it back out at
Turning
it.
back to the archaeologist.
What?
What are we dealing with here?
SCP-682 slinks towards him, smoke still curling up out of
What
his
is
earring
this
teeth.
thing?
Wow.
Heavy, thunking steps. It climbs the ramp towards him, stopping just
Oh,
short
wait, I
of
think
the
he's gonna
trap
capture
door.
it.
The two of them stare each other in the eye, predator and prey. Neither move for a moment. Then it opens its mouth. The archaeologist closes his
He
eyes.
did.
Dodge.
No,
Do
he's
a
good,
dodge
he's good, he's
move.
good. They're gonna be friends.
Disgusting creatures deserve this.
Oh yeah, it can talk
He
too, by
opens
the way.
them. Did the monster just
What?
speak?
It must have been a person before.
They hope
super
to
intelligent.
accomplish by attacking me.
He gulps hard. That whisper he heard in the woods, the rock he'd been standing on. They're scientists. Scientists always try to learn more things, understand the world better.
The flip?
We think you can't be killed, so they're testing their hypothesis. The creature growls. The stench of rotten flesh fills the archaeologist's
Oh,
nose.
Ew.
He
no,
takes a step
no,
towards
no.
him, then another. The archaeologist runs. He'll leap off the other end of the platform. It's a big jump, but he could make it. The predator's breath is
No
on
way
the
he's
back of
making
his
that
neck.
jump. It's
He
GG's.
jumps just as the trapdoor gives way. With an enormous thud, the SCP falls into the steel enclosure.
No way.
Before it has
Is
a
he stuck
chance to
there?
It's that
move,
easy?
the
They
spring
got him.
unhitches the steel lid.
Wait, this thing was like the most
crashes down
intelligent
into
being.
place, sealing the monster
How did it fall for
inside.
that?
No, wait, it's that
The
dumb.
archaeologist lands
It's-
in the dirt
wow,
and
this
rolls
thing's
onto his
dumb.
back to see the professor,
How?
wild-eyed and cheering, up in the crane's cabin. He
He's
lies
crazy.
there on his back, panting and staring up at the stars. A clunking sound echoes through the clearing, and the gurgle of a liquid flowing through pipes. He
Liquid.
sits up, adrenaline still
Still trying to
pumping
drown
through
that
him.
thing. But it can
The
breathe
professor has
underwater.
plugged a pipe into the metal enclosure and is running gallons and gallons of liquid into it. He
Maybe it's like
follows the
acid
tube
or
with his
something,
eyes
trying to kill
all
it?
the way to the enormous
It could
hazardous
be.
vats on the edge of the clearing. Hydrochloric acid.
Oh,
I
nice,
called it.
Alec.
In horror, the professor laughs at him. Come on, cheer up. We're just scientists, that's what you said. Just testing a hypothesis.
Yeah, there's no way that worked. This SCP is literally impossible to destroy. And yeah.
You were right, Jack. I'm gonna have nightmares.
If you guys enjoyed and want to see more SCP videos, make sure you guys smash like with your forehead and click right here to see more.